Good evening, everybody, and welcome to week one in CE 155. Chef Suzanne and I are awfully excited to have all of you in our class. Big crowd tonight. We're very thankful for that. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance. My name is Warren Weeks, and I am your chef instructor. I've been around in kitchens for a lot of years and worked all over the place, owned restaurants, and helped open many hotels. So you're in the right spot. And then my co-host in this program is Chef Suzanne Lasagna. Chef Suzanne, you want to take a moment and introduce yourself?
I will. For those of you that I have not met yet, I am Suzanne Lasagna. Oh, look, we got some folks joining. I love that. I am in the lovely rainy city today of Texarkana, Texas, right on the border of Texas and Arkansas, if anybody is wondering where I am. I have also worked in a lot of different types of food service. I have been kitchen manager, executive chef, general manager. I've worked in country clubs and school districts, banquet facilities, convention centers, chain restaurants. I've done a little bit of everything. This is where my passion lies, and I love it. So I'm here to share anything and everything with you that I can.
Well, I'm awfully excited to have you by my side. I know that you are the best evaluator here at Escoffier, so all of you are in very good hands, and you're going to receive a lot of really good information over the next couple of weeks from both of us as we take you through facility layout and design. Before we get going too far into the program, the number one thing that you can do to succeed in this class is to attend the live session. This class is highly theoretical, and we discuss a lot of those theories during the live session. And without attendance to the live session, your chance of failure is pretty high in this class, because we cover a lot of information that isn't covered in the actual class page. That's really, really important in this class. So if you can't make the live session, make sure that you watch the live session archive. That's what it's there for. And as well, each week, we do post our PowerPoint presentation used during the live session onto the class page following the live session. So if there's anything that you missed, make sure you go back and you take a look at it and see what you missed. So moving on to the thick and thin of CE 155, let's take a look at a couple of rules and expectations that we have in this class before we get going. This class, please do not fall behind in this class. This class is a little bit different than your other classes. In week one, we start using what is called the facility layout tool, and we'll get into that here in just a moment. But each week builds upon the prior week. So for example, in order to do week two, you should have already done week one. In order to do week three, you have to do week two. So it's like stepping stones in this class. So if you're kind of a procrastinator, you might want to readdress that issue right now and get going and move forward. We expect all your assignments to be turned in no later than Sunday of each week. This allows time to correct and resubmit for a better grade. There's nothing that makes us happier than seeing all those assignments come in on Saturday or Sunday. And the reason we do that as a chef, it is the chef standard. It is professionalism that you run ahead of the curve. You always need to be in a proactive manner, not in a reactive manner. And if you procrastinate and give us a call on Tuesday at 11:50 p.m., Chef Suzanne, what's the response?
Unfortunately for me, there won't be one right away because I'll be sleeping at 11:50 on. So not good. Unfortunately. I mean, some nights I'm up late, but not normally. So don't wait till the last minute ever. We want to help, but we gotta be awake to help. Yeah. We sleep a little.
If you want to succeed in this class, the best thing you can do is run ahead of the curve. The information that you're going to learn over the next 6 weeks, regardless of where you go or what you do in this industry, you will utilize the information. The information that you learn in this class will take you from cook to a managerial level, because those are all the principles that we're talking about. We're talking about the things that managers see and do. So this class will bolster your career and help you elevate yourself in your professionalism. So don't fall behind. Please stay ahead of the curve. Like we were just saying, if you choose to procrastinate, it's going to be difficult for you. In the restaurant industry, we proact, we do not react. And if you find yourself in a reactionary stage, give us a call. We're going to help you through it. We'll do everything we can. All of your assignments in this class will be evaluated by Chef Suzanne Lasagna. Please contact her directly with any questions regarding your evaluation or the grade that you received. So in other words, if you submit an assignment and she sends it back with a little bit of recommendations and you have questions about that, reach out and contact her. She's going to be the first one to pick up the phone and work with you. Isn't that right, Chef Suzanne?
Absolutely. Just give me a call. Send me a message. We'll figure it out. We'll help you through it.
Get the blanket out. Send some smoke signals. She'll work with you. She's there. Your assignments are evaluated based on the rubric and the information shared in the live session. Like we mentioned earlier, it's nearly impossible to get through this class without attending the live sessions. All of the information that is required to successfully complete your assignment is shared during this hour. Your professionalism in attendance and participation is expected for each live session. Should you not be able to attend, please make sure you watch the live session archive. We love interaction. We love questions during the live session. This is a great time to ask them, so take advantage of it. That's what we are here for. It's very, very important. A couple more things before we move on to some meat and potato in the class. We are here to help you succeed. That is our goal, to help you through the program. You're going to hear a lot from all of us over the next 6 weeks, reaching out to you. If you have any questions regarding your assignment, please contact me after you have watched the live session archive. It's very, very important. We had numerous issues with that during the last block. Before you contact the instructor, make sure you watch the live session archive and read the weekly live presentation. That's going to give you all the information you need regarding your assignment. If you still have questions, we are here. We're going to do everything we can to help you. So please make sure that you take advantage of those two resources first. Don't try to loop the thing and try to get out of having to learn in the live session. It doesn't work real well. It's kind of an odd thing. And then please remember, everybody, this is your future. And Chef Suzanne and I feel very fortunate to have the opportunity to work with you and be a part of your future. So we are your stepping stones. Take advantage of it. A critical part of a chef's success is time management. It is critical. If you think about the fact that most of you are going to become executive chefs or restaurant owners, or other of you will become in the B&I, catering businesses, et cetera, when you're trying to organize a staff of 30, 40 people trying to feed 500-600 people at a time, with all your product coming in, all your product going out, and all the concerns that you have with your staff members, time management is critical. This is the time to build that skill. So Chef Suzanne and I know that everybody has plenty of time throughout the week, regardless of how many hours you work, to be able to get your assignments done and turned in on time. If you spend 15 to 20 minutes per day working on this class, what are you going to get, Chef Suzanne?
Hopefully an A.
Hopefully an A, and that's about what it takes, right? So it's not like a real huge thing that we're dealing with here. And by all means, for those of you that have been through this course once before, make sure you post attendance at least every 4 days. Yes, stay close to the program. The closer you are to the program, the higher your chances of success. It does not take time to post attendance. To post attendance, you have to simply complete an activity, located on the class page, whether it be watching the live session archive, submitting an assignment, or working with the research materials, or participating in a discussion forum. That will post your attendance. Do it at least every 4 days. Otherwise, we're picking up the phone and saying, where are you? You doing all right? You know, spend the time working on your assignments. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Thoughts, concerns? All right, ladies and gents, next slide we're going to take a look at is our classroom participation policy. We're not going to go through this line by line. I think most of you know it. When you do attend the live session, we do appreciate you being professionally dressed. We are chefs and training to become chefs, and we expect for you to be in that attire. It's very, very important. We also ask that things in the background are kept appropriate and you know, appropriate for a classroom, if you get what I'm saying. We've had several issues where people are kind of, you know, wandering in the back and they're not very well clothed, and smoking, eating, all that type of stuff. So try to keep yourself as professional as possible during the live session. It is much appreciated. How'd I do, Chef Suzanne? Anything to throw in on that?
Actually, yes, you did great, but I'm going to throw this in. I know that some of the other courses, you get to cook all the amazing food, and you know and so this just seems a little less maybe important, but in reality, it is probably even more important than some of the other courses that you take, because if you're going to own your own business, you definitely are going to need to know these things. And even if you're not, you're going to be managing or running a kitchen, you're going to need a lot of this information is going to be very relevant. I myself, I know Chef Warren has owned businesses. I never have owned a business, and I have utilized all of the information in this course. I have had to buy equipment. I have had to reorganize. I've had to do modifications on buildings, but I've never owned my own, but I've still done a lot of the information in this course at some point or another in my career. It's very important. It's not the most riveting, like, you know, learning a mother sauce, and you know, the passion is a little harder to feel sometimes in this class, but make sure you still stick with it and suck in as much information as you can.
Absolutely. Great words of advice. We will make you one promise, regardless of where you go in this industry, you will rely upon the information in this class that you are going to learn over the next 6 weeks. Whether you end up becoming a line cook, an executive chef, sous chef, an operator, an owner, whatever the case may be, you will end up using this information. So it's very, very helpful for you. And like Chef Suzanne, it may not appear on the surface as to be the most exciting thing in the world, but trust me, when you're in management, it's going to be real exciting for you, and you're going to be very thankful for what we have shared. So before we get rolling, everybody needs to have a concept in this class. Concept is what defines your restaurant. And on the screen, I'm going to show you a couple of different suggestions for concepts here and definitions of what they are, right? So throughout the next 6 weeks, you're going to be providing a brief 1 to 2 sentence of your concept, brief 1 to 2 sentence summary of your concept with each assignment that you submit to Chef Suzanne. Chef Suzanne utilizes this sheet to see where it fits in. So you're either going to be a bakery breakfast concept, which is where they serve the eggs, bacon, French toast, all that kind of good stuff, fine dining restaurant, food truck, a regular food truck, or a general restaurant. So over the next couple of weeks, your concept needs to kind of fit in to one of those categories. Like I mentioned just a moment ago, the sheet will be on the class page, so you'll be able to refer to it. Occasionally in this class, people will come up with alternative concepts, such as culinary schools, different types of catering operations. We highly urge you to stick within one of these concepts over the next couple of weeks. It will help you learn the nuts, the bolts, and the mechanics of the operation by utilizing one of these concepts, and then you can take what you've learned and apply it to your own concept down the road. Is that right, Chef Suzanne?
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yes. So we're going to stick within these confines over the next couple of weeks. Bakery, breakfast concept, fine dining, food truck, or general restaurant. And that's what you're going to work with. Now, I know they changed around 185 a little bit. So some of you are coming into this class and you have yet to create a menu, which is perfectly fine. For this course, you need a menu. We do not want you to spend hours and days, weeks, and months developing a menu. It is not important. What is important about your menu is that, number one, it represents your concept. So if you have a fine dining restaurant, we don't want to see sliders on your menu, right? And if you have a general restaurant, we don't want to see pâté de foie gras either. So it has to fit within the confines of your concept, and it needs to be well spread out. So in other words, your menu would not consist of 5 different types of hamburgers. It's a 5-item menu that you need to create. And we're going to show you all the specifics on that here in just a moment. It's a 5-item menu. You don't want to have 5 different types of hamburgers on there, right? You want it to be spread out so you have a salad, you maybe have a chicken dish, a pasta dish, and we'll get into that here in just a moment, and you're going to learn why. Your concept, like I just spoke about a moment ago, most weeks you are required to supply the 1 to 2 sentence summary of your concept. And this is an example of what we would like to see. Do not copy this example because it's probably not applicable to your concept. So it's just the style that we have written. Make sure it's written professionally in a full sentence or full 2 sentences. Use proper punctuation. Remember, what you write and the way you communicate with other people is a representation of your professionalism. So we want that to shine through in everything you do. So on this slide, we have an example of your concept. Like we were just talking about a moment ago, this is an example, or not an example, but a description of what we expect for the menu development. That's a great project tonight. Your menu only needs to be 5 items, right? 5 different menu items must consist of at least one of each of the following categories, okay? So we have a pantry item, which would be a cold dish, such as a salad, some appetizers, and some sandwiches. And then something off of your sauté station. We all know what sauté is right now. You could do a pasta item, you could do a pan-seared chicken breast, some type of seared salmon, whatever you come up with that works for your concept. And then maybe something off your grill station as well. A grilled ribeye steak with blue cheese compound butter, with tobacco onions. That sounds delicious. And you will create this menu in Google Docs. You'll be required to provide a link to your menu for assignments in this class. So that link will be created in Google Docs. Are there any questions about that? No? Okay. In this class, we do not use a folder. You want to explain that part, Chef Suzanne? When people go to submit your assignments, like you do in other classes where you have a CE 115 or a CE 115 folder, we don't have that. That's correct, right?
Yeah, you just need to save your facility layout tool or whatever document it is that you need, and then just share the link. You're just going to click open up that document, share the link, which is even easier than having to go through creating folders and moving folders and opening folders. Just whatever that document is, share that link and put it right in your assignment. It's even easier. It's like eliminating a whole step. And it makes it a lot easier for me to open, and it makes it easier for all of you to attach that.
Yes, exactly. So do not look for the CE 155 folder. It does not exist. It's not there. And when you are asked to provide written information, such as a concept or summary concept, you will type it right into the submission page. So it'll be right there for Chef Suzanne to easily see. So first thing you need to do is you need to come up with a 5-item menu from different stations within the kitchen that represents your concept. That item is to be prepared on a Google Doc. You will share the link to the Google Doc on various assignments, starting with week 1. And let's take a look at week 1. So this is week 1. And the primary purpose of this slide is we want to talk about the facility layout tool. But please remember, in this class, you do get points for going through these assignments up here at the top of the page. It is recorded, and it does help you post attendance in the class. So for example, selecting food service equipment, you'll open it up, you'll read the information, and then there's a couple of brief questions to answer regarding the written material. It takes maybe 10 minutes to go through it. It helps you post attendance and stay on top of it. So make sure you're doing that every week. And then there's additional information down here at the bottom. 5 of the next 6 weeks, you're going to be using what we call the facility layout tool. The facility layout tool is extremely important in this class. So you will begin using that here in week 1. And I'm going to show you an example of how to get to the facility layout tool. You're going to go to your class page. And when you scroll down, you'll see week 1. And then you select the food service equipment, answer those questions, post attendance, get the points. It's great. Feels good. And then review the other information. And then you're going to click on facility layout tool right here. Click on the facility layout tool. And then you're going to hit make a copy. Right? Just like that. And then it's going to pop up your very own personal copy of facility layout tool. My system's running just a bit slow. There it goes. And all these slides we will be working on during various parts of the next 6 weeks. So make sure that you you save this copy, keep it inside your drive. When you go to submit your assignment, you're going to hit share, and then you're going to get a shareable link right here. And that shareable link right there, you're going to copy it, and then that's what you're going to submit into the submission area. Is that right, Chef Suzanne?
That is correct. And above or below that link is where you're going to put in your concept summary every week. It's going to be exactly the same. The one you create for this week is the same one you'll put in with your link every single week.
Yep. So you will be done with that. So that is a beautiful thing. So does anybody have any questions so far about anything that we've talked about? Everybody understand it so far? Hi, Gertrude. Everybody's good? All right, ladies and gents, let's keep the bus rolling here. Our theme for this next 6 weeks, Chef Suzanne and I had a meeting. We thought about this for quite a while, a couple of cups of coffee, and we came up with a theme of get on the bus. Don't get left behind at the bus stop. And Chef Suzanne says that's a very powerful thing, and it's going to help everybody move forward. So let's get on the bus, everybody, and let's move forward and take a look at our next slides. We're going to take you through some commercial kitchens for those of you that have not been exposed to them very often, and kind of talk about some of the different parts in the kitchen so you can start getting a feeling for what an actual layout is for a commercial kitchen. Commercial kitchens for facility layout and design are extremely well thought out. We do not design using feng shui. We do not design using comfort levels. We do not design using an interior decorator. Everything in a kitchen is put in a specific spot for a specific reason. And so we have to have purpose behind what we do. And I hope everybody sees how all this is tying in together now. So understanding your purpose, one, you have your concept that you've created, right? You've looked at that sheet, you said, okay, I'm going to open up Sam's Steakhouse, and it's going to be a general restaurant. I'll stick within that category. And then the next purpose, you're going to have your 5-item menu that you've developed. Okay, so now I've got some purpose. Now using that information, I'm able to decide where I can start putting my equipment and arranging my kitchen. So now we can begin to see how each week builds upon each week here in CE 155. The first slide we're going to take a look at is one of my heroes by the name of Thomas Keller. He owns the French Laundry and many other restaurants in this area. They're in the Northern California area and across the United States. This is Thomas Keller's brand new $10 million kitchen at the French Laundry. Enjoy it because you're probably not going to see it. This is a state-of-the-art kitchen. It's all laid out. All the cooking equipment is done by Heston. And I'm blessed enough at my other job to cook on Heston equipment as well. It's a beautifully laid out kitchen. A couple of things that you want to take a look at here in this picture is everything is on wheels. Nothing is touching the floor other than the island. And so a big reason for that is sanitation, and we'll get into that here a little bit later. These hood vents up here evacuate all the smoke and the grease from the kitchen and keep it smelling nice and clean. Then also take a look at all the luminaries in the kitchen. Luminaries is how we describe the strength of light. How much light is in this kitchen? It's got a lot of natural light in there, so the culinarians are able to see what they are doing all the time. So that is a dream kitchen. I fantasize about working in a place like that, but I have to keep my feet on the ground, so it's probably not going to happen. A little closer to reality for most of us here is this kitchen. This is the front end of a kitchen. This area right here is where the expediter works, who is a chef. Generally, the executive chef or executive sous chef will be the expediter. So the orders come into the kitchen through a printer back in this area somewhere. The cooks prepare the food. Tickets are hung up all along this rail right here at the top. You'll just see 30, 40 tickets hanging up there. The cooks put the food into this area that we call the window. This area is the window right here, this small box, and there's heat lamps in there that keep the food warm. The expediter will then organize the food onto trays, clean it up, garnish it if need be, and then send it out to the dining room right back there. This is a little bit more of a traditional prep area that a lot of us work in. You'll notice the flooring surfaces in both of these kitchens. They're grease-proof, skid-proof, and anti-macrobacterial that prevent the growth of bacteria on the floors. So you don't see a lot of moldy kitchen floors because we have special tiles that prevent that from happening. And they're usually Cori tile is the most common type of tile that we work with in the kitchen, and we'll get into that later. This system up here, you need to be very well aware of it. This is called the hood system. This is what removes all the air, the grease and the smoke from the kitchen. These little pipes coming down, that's an Ansel system. There's clips up in the hood that if they get too hot and melt, they release a chemical into the kitchen that will immediately extinguish the fire, and it's not a very pleasant situation to be in. It turns the entire area white instantly, and I've been in that when it happens. It's not fun. Not fun at all. Taking a look at our next photos here, we just talked about the expediter. When you go to do your facility layout in a couple of weeks, your kitchen design, I think that's week 4, week 5, you're going to be designing an expo area. And this is an example of what it looks like. We talked about all the tickets hanging up here. Cooks are putting food up into the window. And then we have a chef here that's pulling the food out of the window and selling it, is what we call it. Sell that ticket. Isn't that right, Chef Suzanne? You got to sell that ticket, right?
Absolutely. Actually, running expo is probably one of my favorite positions in a kitchen because it's just so important. You're visually seeing everything and making sure that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be when it goes out. Make sure that everything that's supposed to be on the plate and every plate that's supposed to be on at a table all goes out together. So yeah, super, super critical. And I think I've worked in like every one of those kitchens. Well, except for Thomas Keller's, I haven't worked in that one. But all the other ones that you've shown, I've worked in kitchens that look just like those.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. It's funny, you know, when I expedite, I feel like, have you ever seen, you've seen one of those police officers in New York City that stand in the middle of the intersection and they're directing traffic and they're, you know, doing all this stuff. I feel like that, you know. Whoa, yeah, hold still. So going back to our pictures here, talking about some more essential parts of the kitchen. We just talked about the expo area, and then the pantry area and the garbage. Yes? Oh, the pantry area and the prep area are essential parts to the kitchen. We have a pantry area here. This is an example of what one looks like with all the cool items here. This is where you're going to assemble salads and cold appetizer sandwiches, that type of thing. Nice prep area down here, well lit, very clean. Nothing's on the floor. If you notice, we don't let things touch the floor in the restaurant industry because we can't clean underneath them. And then this picture up here provides an example of the fact that we utilize every square inch in the kitchen. It is extremely critical. And then now we're going to take a look at the dish areas. Dish areas are often underthought in restaurants until you've worked in a restaurant for a while, then design your own restaurant. The dish area is a critical element to the success of any restaurant. It creates the flow, right? So if you don't have your stuff coming in and out of the dish area in a timely fashion, then everywhere else in your kitchen is going to go downhill. It's not going to work out too well. Then we also have, these are examples of dish machines. This is a corner unit right here, and then this is what they call a conveyor machine. It takes about 90 seconds to do a load of dishes in these machines. Machines are quite costly, anywhere between $8,000 and $10,000 for a little dish machine like this. Walk-in refrigerators, you're going to be working with those, I think, in week 4. This is where we keep all of our cold foods in the restaurant industry. And then a storeroom where we keep all of our non-perishable foods on shelves. So those are some critical areas in the kitchen. Anything to add about those, Chef Suzanne?
Other than, you know, dish machines are great, but if your business is really small, it's not always the most feasible, because you're just talking about how very expensive they are. But boy, working in a kitchen without one, you really appreciate them, that maybe there's another corner to cut somewhere else to have a dish machine.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And when we don't have dish machines, we use what we call triple sinks. Triple sinks in the dish area, and we're going to talk about this later on in the course as well, for wash, rinse, and sanitize, not for thawing and washing lettuce, but we'll get into that later. Let's take a look at a hotline to see what that looks like. The hotline in the kitchen is where all the cooks execute and sell food. When we say sell food, that means the ticket comes in, the cooks prepare the dish, put it on a plate, put it in the window, and then it becomes sold at that point. So when you're in your kitchen and they say sell that ticket, that's what they're talking about. And this is where we prepare all of our hot entrees. We have 6-burner stoves. We have flat tops that some people like to use the term sear station, which I really don't believe in, but it's a flat top. And then here's some other examples. You can see every square inch of the kitchen is utilized for storage in one way or the other. And then other essential parts to the kitchen. We have walk-in coolers. We have deep fryers, salamander unit, and then we also have a convection oven and a stand mixer here. And we're going to get into some additional parts of the equipment as well here in just a moment. Have I missed anything yet, Chef Suzanne?
Not yet. You are rocking.
Not yet. I got to pull up this other presentation because I think it's a little different. It has some better stuff on it for everyone to enjoy.
Oh, well, we like good stuff.
Yeah, we gotta keep it fresh. Here. Are there any questions so far?
Not yet. We got a very, they're very intently listening.
Oh, intently listening?
Yes. Maurice says no. He is good.
Okay, good. As long as everyone else is good, I'm good too. All right, we're going to continue on with the same presentation that we had and keep going there. Sinks in the restaurant industry are huge business. Each sink has a designated purpose that we work with. And let's take a look at different sinks that we utilize in the kitchen. Down here in the bottom, this is a double sink. It's also called a prep sink. This is where we thaw out meats under cold running water. This is where we wash lettuces and other produce items as well. So it is not a dish area. In a couple of weeks, when you go to create your kitchen, do not put a double sink in your dish area. Chef Suzanne does not like that. Neither does the health department or the building inspector or the person that you're working for. So make sure that you catch that mistake. Up here, we have some triple sinks. Triple sinks are what we were talking about earlier. This is where we wash, rinse, and then sanitize. Hot, hot, cold is the old theme song right there. We never let any food touch that. This sink up here is a prime example of a hand sink. Hand sinks must be bountiful in the kitchen and placed in appropriate areas. Chef Suzanne makes a good pet peeve of that, and I'm glad she does, because that's an essential part of maintaining a good sanitation program in your kitchen, is having proper hand sinks. Shelving units in the kitchen too. We don't use traditional shelving units like you do at home. They all must be ventilated. There are no solid shelves on any of the dry storage. If they are, you're working in a really old restaurant. But we like to allow the air to flow through to keep everything fresh and prevent mold from growing. Other considerations that you need to think about, we have broilers down here. This is what we call a grill, right? But another name is a broiler. Up here is a flat top. Like I mentioned, some people call it a sear station, although it is not a flat top. It's not a griddle. Griddle's something you use at home in the South, right? So they use griddles in Texarkana, don't they?
I'm not gonna lie, my stove has a griddle. Actually, there's 2 burners on one side, 2 burners on the other side, and a griddle in the middle. I'm not even gonna lie.
So does mine. And then we have a Swiss cooker here, or a tilt skillet, and these are amazing. They actually lay flat, and some of them can hold up to 50 gallons at a time, and then you turn the wheel and it'll pour all the product out into a bucket. So very fun to work with. And then steam tables, some of you will have these on your hotline as we progress in the course. We'll put hotel pans in here, which we'll talk about later, and we'll keep things like mashed potatoes, Dauphinoise potatoes, or Duchess potatoes, or rice pilafs, all sorts of interesting things. We'll put it in there to keep it warm during service, so we don't have to heat it up each time we cook it. Refrigeration, again, we have a double door reach-in refrigerator, and then we also have another pizza prep table here that would be found in the garde-manger area. That's a reach-in refrigerator. And then the floors that we talked about already, but these floors right here are covered with rubber mats, and you will find that most restaurants have rubber mats on the floor, because we're going to talk a lot about this, aren't we, Chef Suzanne? You see where I'm going with this?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Rubber mats are, if they're not there, you miss them.
Yes. We talk a lot about footsteps in this kitchen, and in this class, I'm sorry, by the time you get home after working a 10, 12-hour day in the restaurant industry, your dogs are tired. They don't feel like walking no more. So we use a lot of rubber mats in the kitchen, and those rubber mats will help create a sponge-like effect on the floor and keep your feet feeling much fresher. Plus, it prevents us from slipping if anybody happens to spill something. So they are a big safety concern. So your employer technically should have those down on the floor. It's very, very important. Any questions so far? I know we've covered a lot of information. And once again, this information will be posted onto your class page. So, week 1 assignment. You ready for this, Chef Suzanne?
Always.
What are we doing this week? We are doing the station map and the equipment list. You are going to open up your facility layout tool like we just showed you. You're going to make a copy, and then you're going to begin working on slide 1. The slides are not chronologically ordered, meaning it doesn't always coincide with the week, so you have to pay very close attention to detail in this class. Slide 2 in your facility layout tool will provide you with the instructions for the additional weeks. I don't know why it isn't slide 1, but it is slide 2. But slide 1 is what we are working on this week in CE 155. We are going to begin developing our station map and our equipment list. At this point, before you begin your assignment, you need to have your concept complete, and you need to have your 5-item menu complete. Those 2 things are prerequisites to doing this assignment. Let's take a look at our station map here. This is one that has been completed already. This person provided the link to their menu right up here in this box. Okay, remember how we showed you to create the link for your Google Doc? Right, so you're going to write out your menu in a Google Doc, and then you're going to hit share, and then copy link, and then you'll come over here, and you'll paste the link right up there. This way, Chef Suzanne has access to your menu, and she has a better understanding of what you're trying to achieve. You're going to list the 5 menu items right here where it says menu item. You're going to put the menu items in. And it looks like this person's doing an Italian type concept, which is pretty cool. So they've listed their menu items. Then you're going to list the components. The components primarily are the things that go into the dish, right? So if it's chicken noodle soup, into the dish, you're putting chicken breasts, chicken stock, carrots, mirepoix, some herbs, etc. into the dish. Does everybody understand that? And then on the next item over, the next cell block over, you have the station. Sauté station. Potager would make the soup. So the soup is going to be served off of the sauté station, and that's perfectly fine. And then over here, the equipment that is going to be required to do the to prepare your dish. Number 1, we just went through a lot of equipment. Number 2, at the top of the class page, it says selecting food service equipment that we said that needs to be done each week because you get the points for it. So that's where you get the information for that. You also get the information from the slides. So there's 2 sources right there for you to fill it out. So you will do that, this sheet, completely filled out, all 5 menu items, all components, all stations. We do not want to see the same station. Make sure you vary the station. It's extremely important. Any questions about that? No? Let's take a quick look at our facility layout tool just to make sure that everybody understands what we are doing. This is your facility layout tool, right? I went to the week 1 class page. I opened up the facility layout tool. I clicked on it. I made a copy, and now I have my own tool. If you click on it up here on the left-hand corner up at the top, you can just click on the title, and you can change it to whatever you want. So I'm calling this one Chef Warren CE, so when Chef Suzanne gets it, she knows it's yours, right? There's no question, right? And if I go over to my Google Drive, right, I can open up a doc, just a blank document, and I can create my menu items, soup, sandwich, steak, and whatever else I want to put in there. And then when I'm ready to do my assignment, I'm going to hit share. And then I have to put a name on there. And then I'm going to hit get shareable link. And then I just right click on the link and I hit copy. And then I go to my facility layout tool. And right in here, menu Google Doc link, I right click and I hit paste. And boom, Chef Suzanne is going to be so happy.
I will be totally happy.
Yes, yes, because now she's going to have a look into what you are trying to create. And then all I simply do is I just write my menu items in here, just type it in, type in the menu items, click on the blocks. Don't worry about it. You're not going to mess up the cell or anything. If you do happen to make a mistake that you feel is going to be unchangeable, all you do is you go up here and you click on the undo button. And it will completely take your sheet back one step at a time until you get to where it wants. So the undo buttons are right up here. These are these arrows. Those will take care of that. And then, as we spoke about earlier, slide 2 provides all of the information for the remainder of the weeks. Slide 2, or I'm sorry, week 2 we do not use, but the other weeks we do use the facility layout tool. What did I forget, Chef Suzanne?
Nothing, but can you pull up the one that's already completed, the slide one that's already completed, and I'll just kind of do my little spiel.
Yeah, I am there. Let me see over here. Okay.
Awesome. All right, so what I'm going to be looking for, obviously, in with your link is going to be your concept summary, and then you're going to have the link to that menu. So those are things I'm looking for. Looking for your menu, looking for those 5 menu items. For each one, when you're listing the components, you want to be as thorough as possible. So, for example, let's say that the Mamma Mia meaty lasagna comes with a breadstick. Everyone is going to get a breadstick. And so you would want to include that in the component information, because that could actually mean that maybe that breadstick probably isn't going to come from saute. It may come from a dessert station, or there may be another station. There may be additional equipment that's needed, right? So if we're baking our own breadsticks or keeping them in a bread warmer, you would want to have a bread warmer as the equipment. So you want to be as specific as possible with your components. When it comes to your station, you want to think of any station that is going to be preparing the items for that dish. But you also want to make sure that there aren't too many. So, like, for example, we would not want 4 different stations to be making our chicken noodle soup and serving our chicken noodle soup, because that's a lot of different equipment, a lot of different places that would be utilized just for one little bowl of soup, right? So you want to make sure that your stations are logical and make sense for your business. And then last but definitely not least, when you're looking at your equipment, you want to make sure you have all of your hot equipment. So your stoves, your deep fryers. You want to have your refrigeration. So this just has refrigeration, but you can get even more elaborate than that. You can put in low boys and freezers and reach-ins. Then you want to also add any special prep equipment. So if you're a bakery, you're probably going to have proofers. We may have mixers, prep tables. And then you're also looking at any holding equipment. So steam wells, maybe heat lamps, that sort of thing. So when you're looking at equipment, you want, and we don't want smallwares. So you don't need to put in pots and pans and ladles. You want anything that's taking up really big amounts of table space or floor space when you're looking at your equipment. So that's what I'm going to be looking for when I'm looking at these.
Awesome, good job. That was very detailed information. I think that certainly helps out. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've talked about? A couple of things I want to recap before we wrap it up here. Number one, Chef Suzanne and I are here to help you succeed. Reach out, talk to us. We want to work with you. We want to share with you. We want to help you succeed. It is our goal to see everybody get through this class, and I know that you can do it. Utilize us. We can. Don't forget, in this class, week 1 builds into week 2, week 2 builds to week 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. So you have to stay on top of it. Do not fall behind. And then something else that's extremely important, you must attend the live sessions in order to succeed in this class. If you can't attend, we understand. We all have work responsibilities, family-related responsibilities, and that's okay. Just make sure that you do watch the live session archive. It's very, very important. We want you to succeed, and it is nearly impossible to succeed without taking the time to do that. And we spoke at the beginning as well. If you have a problem with what you received on your evaluation, if you don't understand it or you need more clarification, Chef Suzanne is right there for you. If you don't understand the assignment, reach out, talk to me. I'm here to help you out. Post attendance at least every 4 days. critical. There's plenty of stuff to do. You can do it. Any questions, anybody? Nobody? I hope.
Sorry, Chef. I have a question. I don't know how to get in without going through the microphone, but to set up the Google Doc link, I have to go out of the assignment to go into another area to go and get what blank document.
Let me walk you through it here real quick, okay? So
yes,
watch my screen, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So when you're on your screen, you're going to have all these tabs up here at the top, right? These are all the different windows that I have open right now. And to open a new window, you just hit the plus button. Okay, that will take you to a new window. And then up here in the corner is this little box with all the dots. It's a little grid. You'll click on the grid, and when you click on the grid, it'll say Docs. And you're going to click on Docs, and then you'll go to a blank document. You only have to do this one time. That's it. Because once you've done this, the doc will be saved, and you'll be able to get the link very easily. And then you're going to just write all your items out quickly. Whatever your 5 menu items are, that's perfectly fine. And then you're going to save it by clicking on the corner up here. You just click on it, and then you type in however you want to save it, and that'll take care of you. Right here it says all changes have been saved in the drive, so we're safe, we're good. And then to get a link, you're going to come up here to where it says share. You'll click on the share button, and then up in the corner of this pop-up box, it says get shareable link. Click on that, and then this link is already highlighted, so you just right-click on it, hit copy, and then you will go to your facility layout tool. And right here where it says menu Google Doc link, just click on that box, and then you're going to right-click and hit paste. Does that make sense?
Yes, it do. Thank you. I didn't know how to get into that blank document and to paste it and put it wherever it needed to go.
Yeah, and then each time you'll have to supply that link later on in the class as well. But your menu's already done. All you have to do is go back and just open up that menu, hit share, copy the link, and then you're set. So quite simple. Any other questions? Anybody else have anything? Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have a fantastic week. Remember, Chef Suzanne and I are here for you. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Hang on, Chef. Don't say bye yet.
Oh, hello.
I just want to add real quick. Make sure you are checking your email or your messaging on a regular basis, because I'm going to be sending out some documents, some helpful hints and things, as something pops up I want to share with you. So that's the easiest way for me to get in contact with everyone is email or a message. So make sure you're checking those because I may have some tips that'll make it easier for you to do your assignment. So keep an eye out for those. I've got a little newsletter I'm working on that it's called Lasagna Dishes, and I'm going to send it out each week, and it'll have tips and tricks and tidbits of information. So make sure you are checking that stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I've looked at Lasagna Dishes before, and it's up for a Pulitzer Prize. It's an amazing document. It looks fantastic. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and there's a lot of really good information in there as well. So take advantage of the resource. If nobody has anything else, have a fantastic week. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.